Hi, everybody. It is episode 585 of PodQuest.
Hey,
It is Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. I am Chris. With me is Walnut.
yeah, I'm here
Drewton is off celebrating tonight.
celebrating. Oh yeah, his
Yeah,
his anniversary.
his
I was
anniversary.
like, what sports thing happened that he has to celebrate for? Completely forgetting that he texted us about um his anniversary. It's been a long week. It really has. Oh boy.
Yeah, it has. And we're going to do a little bit shorter of an episode this week because I have a bit of a headache. And, Ollie, stop chewing on the carpet, you weirdo.
Nope. Carpet tastes good.
Well, she chews on weird stuff and not the toys.
You, my dog owns a pillow. Okay.
That's
It is
true.
his pillow and no one else's.
That is
There's nothing I can do about it. It's his pillow. Like he
that
has
is
a
true.
million toys and he has a pillow.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so without further ado, what is on the agenda?
So on the agenda this week, I've been trying to like make use of my Dropout subscription more. So I've been watching a lot of the Dimension 20 stuff. And I recently just finished watching, recently as in literally right before we started recording, finished watching the Titan Takedown miniseries, the four-part series, as well as their most recent series, Cloudward Ho, which was quite incredible. So it was just like something to talk about, something nerdy adjacent to talk about.
Yeah,
Cobb, you're gonna get
have
a
you
little bit. Go
real
ahead.
quick before you continue? Have you started the campaign for Critical Role?
I'm caught up on campaign 4 as well.
Okay,
Yes.
you haven't mentioned it, so I was just curious.
Yeah, I think it's really good. We can add it to this Dimension 20 conversation. We can just do a whole D&D conversation. Then Cobb, you played more Pokemon ZA, so you're going to talk about that. And I have not beaten it, but I don't really think I'm going to have anything more to say about it, so I'm going to do my finale of Evil Within 2. And that probably the way I introduced that kind of explains how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it seems like
Uh,
that was a series that didn't quite land for you.
Bro, I just wait. Just wait on how stupid this the gameplay isn't bad, but everything else about it makes no fucking sense.
That
We'll
sounds
get
about
into
right.
it. We'll get into it.
Right. But
Uh,
I to start, talk about Dimension 20 and Critical Role and
yeah,
things.
so we'll do Critical Role real quick. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video about my feelings, and by more in-depth, probably like 10 to 15 minutes. This week, seeing as how their four-part overture ended last week, I just finished it on Tuesday. But I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's a neat idea. I like all of the characters. I like the large party. It's basically Game of Thrones, the D&D campaign. Is like the best way to put it. And there are people out there that are complaining, "Oh, there's too many characters. I don't know who I'm going to care about. Well, you're going to care about them all. Number one, and number two, like if you watched Game of Thrones, there was three times as many characters in Game of Thrones as there are in this damn show. So you got this. It's not that many. But I love all the, like the different takes that they're making, the whole new world. Brennan is a fantastic GM, so I love watching him GM and just seeing Matt as a full-time player for once and not just on a one shot. It's really fun to see, and I'm happy with it so far. I'm very happy with it. But the first four episodes were basically the prologue to the campaign itself. It was the setting of why these characters, what they all have connected with each other, and like what's going on in the world that causes them to be kind of in a party together, but also like doing their own separate things. Um, and it's interesting to see like where these characters are going to go and potential interactions. It's seeming as if so there's three tables, the soldiers, the seekers, and the schemers. It's seeming as if the seekers and the schemers are potentially going to be able to intermingle quite a bit, but the soldiers literally straight up left the city that they were in, so it's not likely they're going to intermingle at all or much if at all. So it's going to be really cool to see like how this all connects. And yeah, I like it. If I did like a 45-minute video about the upcoming season before it came out on my YouTube. And so if you want to know more of my feelings about like leading up to it and theories and things like that, Go for it. I have a feeling this is going to be a short campaign. I don't think it's going to be like a 150 episode campaign like the previous ones. And my feelings as to why they're doing it this way is, well, they're contractually obligated with Wizards to play D&D until a certain time. And so they're doing this until they're done, and then they're going to jump to Daggerheart because
Yeah.
that's just what I think. That's just what I think. But we'll see. I think it's really good though. Have you watched any of it? Have you had a chance to check any of it out?
No, I actually I didn't even realize it had started.
Yeah.
And then I saw something get posted today somewhere. And I'm just like, "Oh, they started?" And I looked and I'm like, "Oh, it's 4 episodes in already." I'm
Yeah,
already 20 hours behind. So,
it's 4 episodes in, however, like I said, it's the prologue. And they released a video introducing all the characters, which also introduces the setting and the separate tables. So, and that video is only about 20 minutes long. So you could essentially watch that video and get a basic understanding of what's going on with each character and whatnot. To where, like, if you're going to watch it week to week, you can start there. They are also taking this week off because they take the last Thursday of every month off.
oh, so they're keeping that up.
They're keeping that up. They are releasing a one shot this week, but yeah, they take the last
You
Thursday off.
That's what I saw. I saw the thing about the one shot and I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if they started 4 and then saw
Mhm.
that they were 4 episodes deep."
Yeah, the one shot is going to be great because it's there's a new game coming out called Dispatch, or it's already out. Where what's his name? Aaron Paul, right? Yeah, or Aaron, is it Aaron Paul? He was Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He
Isn't Aaron Paul the douchebag YouTuber, boxer, wrestler, whatever?
No, that's Jake Paul and his brother Jerk Paul. It's Jerk Paul and his brother.
I don't know. I think it's the
Yeah,
last name.
It's
Yeah,
Aaron
I
Paul.
just looked. Aaron Paul is that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Also, I did not know there were 2 people that were the YouTubers. I thought it was one guy. They're brothers.
yeah.
Okay.
What is this? It's Jerk Paul and Logan Paul. Both assholes, but I believe it was Jerk Paul or Jake Paul was the one who did the suicide um
Right.
Suicide
Right.
Forest video. It's one of them too, but like I think I'm not. I think they're both. As far I don't know, I've not kept up on their problems, but they're both terrible, shitty people. And currently, I believe Jake Paul um lives in Puerto Rico, but doesn't advocate for Puerto Rico, and is just he's a shitty person. Like they're
Well,
both terrible people. They're both just terrible people.
yeah, I know one of
Um,
them did the boxing thing with
Yeah,
Tyson.
that was Jake, I believe,
Okay.
or maybe that was Logan.
Yeah, so I know. So I thought they were the same person because I thought it was because one of them, I guess, wrestles, the other one boxes, and I just assumed it was one person that boxed and wrestled that
No,
was a douchebag YouTuber.
they both box and wrestle. They both just they follow in each other's footprints. Like they're both shitty kids. They're shitty kids.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But Aaron Paul, who was Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad, he voices the main character of Dispatch, which is it takes place in a world where superheroes are the norm, and he is a retired superhero working now at essentially a superhero dispatch center. Um, and you have to like dispatch the
And he's going to
heroes.
be in this one shot, or
I
the
don't
one
think
shot.
Aaron Paul is going to be in the one shot, but most of the other voice cast from Dispatch is going to be in it because Mercer, uh, Laura Bailey, and Travis Willingham are all in Dispatch. So like they're doing just a whole like collab thing because
Oh,
pretty
that's
much
cool.
half of the founders of Critical Role are in Dispatch, so they're doing a whole thing about it. And Dispatch looks ridiculous. You'd probably like it a lot because it's more of like a Telltale-y kind of game. It's not it's like it's the narrative movie or it's like a narrative story kind of game, like a Tales from the Borderlands or Telltales type thing. I think
Okay.
you might like it a lot, and it's just the art looks really cool. But yeah, so they're doing that one shot this week. So I mean, you have time to catch up. You have 2 weeks to catch up, if you care. But like I said, you could just watch your 15-minute video. But it's good, and I'll have more about it in my own video on YouTube when I post it this weekend. I'm gonna try to record
Nice.
that on Friday.
You said that whole cast isn't on every episode. They're like
No, no, no,
rotating
no.
like a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so that was their big thing. Like it is a cast of 13. There is an overarching story. However, the overarching story is more widespread than just one group could handle. And so like and this I guess this kind of works in a sense like in campaign 3 like there was just it was a whole worldwide world-saving event that multiple people were taking part in handling, and they didn't really separate the group, but they had the players play each of their own parties throughout each of their old characters and current characters throughout the season.
I was going to
And
ask that. I thought the last campaign was the one where they did the whole like they brought their characters in from the previous campaigns too.
they had big battles with each of their previous campaign characters from Vox Machina and Mighty Nine, and even in Bell's Hells. So yeah, it works because it is like an overarching story of like, oh well, here's this thing that happened, and a lot of people are bothered by it, but there's also otherworldly stuff that's also happening, and we can't just focus on our feelings about this. We need other people to handle other shit as well. And so it just like it works in a fantasy setting that there are multiple groups doing multiple things. It really does work. And like Brennan is a savant when it comes to D&D. He's got this. He's got his mind palace is so big. He's got this, and I'm excited to
And
see where it goes.
he's the guy from Dimension 20, right?
Yeah, he's been running Dimension 20. He started Dimension 20 over on Dropout, and he's on a bunch of other podcasts and a bunch of other actual plays, and he's ran a few games for Critical Role as well. So he's been playing he tells a story on a podcast recently that he recently wrapped up his 20 plus year running campaign. Him
Wow.
and his friends, they rented a cabin for a weekend, and from morning to night for like a whole weekend or maybe a week, they just played D&D and just wrapped up this huge 20-year campaign. And yeah, he is such a knowledgeable dude. Plus his way of DMing, like it's different from Mercer's, and I think that's good to introduce people to a different kind of DM for a long form campaign so that they understand like D&D is not just Matt Mercer. Like there are a lot of people who watch Critical Role that don't watch anything else. And even same, there might be a lot of people who watch Dimension 20 that don't watch anything else. You'll know these other ones, but you probably won't watch them. And there's so many different ways to DM, and that's the good thing about having Brennan in it, because like he'll bend the rules just for fun and narrative sake. He'll like one of the first things that happened was the first roll that happened in the campaign was a natural 20, and because of that natural 20, Brennan was like, I'm gonna give you more because of that natural 20. I'm gonna allow like this to happen just because you got that natural 20. If you didn't get that natural 20, I wouldn't have allowed this to happen. But just because you got the natural 20, I'm gonna like bend the rules a bit. And he does that throughout. It's like it's not about the dice roll. It's about the narrative. It's not about the game. It's about the narrative. That's what he's about.
Which is cool. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Dimension 20 stuff you've been
Yeah. So
consuming?
the quicker one is Titan Takedown. It was their four episode short mini series where they took professional wrestlers, most of them never having had played D&D before, and did a D&D campaign based around pretty much professional wrestler personalities, but they're all Greek. They're Greek gods and Greek myths and legends. And if you weren't into wrestling, this is a good way to get you into wrestling. This is the only wrestling I'll ever watch. It was
Are you now into
incredible.
wrestling?
No, I'm not into wrestling, but I'll watch D&D wrestling any day of the week if they do stuff like this. But it was really fun. All of the wrestlers that were in it were really cool. Like there was one of the wrestlers I was just like, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like she wants to be there. It doesn't really seem like she's getting it, but also at the same time it's like it's her first time playing, so got to let her just like grow into it a bit. But like overall it was like the character choices. One of the characters was the cousin of the Minotaur who got cursed by Poseidon, and she was a Ruitar, which is a kangaroo cow combination minotaur. So she's a kangaroo with cow horns, and it was just stupid and funny. And it's just like they all made different choices and ridiculous choices. One of the characters was his name was Adonis, and he was cursed by Hades to be dead. He had a curse of undeath on him, and his whole kingdom was cursed to be undead. But the whole time, it's like he thought he was just being cursed to be ugly. And it's like multiple times they had to be like, your curse is not that you're ugly. Your curse is that you're undead. Like, yes, you are ugly, but that was not the curse. The curse is that you're undead because you did something that Hades didn't like that you did. Which is, it was
Okay.
funny. And overall, it was just like, it was a great, like, group of players. And just, I love watching newbies play D&D and see what as they start to catch on and understand and figure out like, oh, this is what I can do. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. And like some of them are like, I'm just overwhelmed with choices, I'm just going to do the basic thing. But then it's like others will turn around and be like, well, oh, I have this, can this work? And then the DM just being like, yeah, sure, I'll let you do it. It's a really good fun D&D series. It's very quick. It's only 2 hours each episode. It's only total about 8 hours, 8ish hours.
Right,
I
because they're the
watched,
ones that like their stuff's like it's not edited to like be fake. It's like but it's like condensed down so it's not just like the raw
yeah,
thing. Like
Dimension 20 cuts it down. They cut down the math and like they'll put cuts into it as they're calculating for math and stuff like that, or like the time as unless there's funny conversation happening, if somebody's trying to figure out what they want to do and it's just them sitting there humming and hawing, they'll cut that down. Like they will, but they'll also like they filmed all four in 2 hours or in 2 days. Like,
oh
so
wow.
they probably had like a 3 hour timer per episode that they cut down to 2 hours. Like they streamline it. They machine out D&D content so fast. Like they're a machine. They know what they're doing. It's usually multiple sessions or multiple episodes per day for like they probably get like a week or two to film it because like Dropout isn't a big studio. They don't have a lot of space, so they gotta film as much as they can when the set is up before they have to tear down the set for whatever other series is going to be filming after that. So they fit it in. They fit in as much as they can.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And so like if you like Greek mythology, if you like the personalities of different wrestlers, like if you like just them making a mockery of Greek mythology because honestly, they're not making a mockery of Greek mythology. They're making a mockery of the Greek gods because they did that themselves in Greek mythology. It's just it works. It's hilarious. I was cracking up the whole time watching it. And then their most recent series wrapped up last week. It was called Cloudward Ho, which was a really fun series, very like steampunky, where the first episode starts out with all the characters, and then there's a 15-year time jump. And like they introduce Allie Beardsley's character as a baby in the beginning of the first episode, and then they're like I think 20 at the time of the like by the end of the first episode. So there's a 20-year time jump, and Allie Beardsley's character's grandmom has gone missing, who was the leader of this group known as the Sky Riders, and they were Ellie's grandmother created like aviation and avionics, and was an incredible scientist, and was seeking this hidden land called Zood, which was like basically the promised land. And so they go on a quest, basically to find her because her benefactor is looking to collect on like all of the wages that they've left or that they have given her. Um, and it turns into a whole big thing. One of the funniest bits about it was midway through the season, uh, Brennan pulls out a prop and puts it onto the table, and it's not a prop that anybody made at Dropout. It's just straight up, it's a suction cup tentacle.
That's kind of funny.
It's a sex toy. Um, straight up
Wow.
sex toy that they painted black. And then something happens and he pulls out a second one. And it's just like everyone's cracking up. And so they do an after show after every episode, called Adventuring Party, where they talk about the episode. After they filmed it, like I go to watch the Adventuring Party, and Brennan opens up and he's like, "This is something we never done before. We filmed the episode last night and we had to give ourselves a day before we had to wait until today to film the Adventure Party." And one of the other actors just like, "Is that because they didn't want us playing with the dildos the whole time? Like, did they hide those dildos as soon as we wrapped?" And Brennan's like, "I don't know where they are. So probably." Because the whole adventuring party, which is like 20 minutes long usually, would have just been them playing with these tentacle sex toys. But like it's incredible what they do at Dimension 20 in general, because they will say things, they will talk about things, and within like 2 episodes, which like I said, they roll these out multiple episodes per day, but within like 2 episodes, there will be art on like miniatures for these things that they have already said. So they have somebody just sitting there sculpting miniatures and printing them out and painting them and everything while they're playing. There were some things said in Titan Takedown that like they named their team the Party Animals, and the very next episode, which was filmed like an hour after the first one, they had signs up already like saying Party Animals, and the art that they're showing in the dome was saying Party Animals. Like they just
Wow.
cranked this stuff out very fast. Like they are a machine. Dropout is a machine. This is why I fully support them. They actually recently released a video where they had to up their prices by like $1, and apparently people wanted to pay them more. So like, well, you wanted to pay us more, so sure. Now there's Dropout Premium, which gives you a little bit more than everything else, but you still get everything you would get if you just pay for normal Dropout. But you guys wanted this, so we're gonna do it. I
That's
think
kind of
it's like
funny.
I think it's just like behind the scenes stuff is really what the premium. Let's. I gotta look at it right now. I need to know. It's called Superfan, and it's $129 a year as opposed to like $60 a year. Um, and you get some behind the scenes videos, and then you get a discount on merch, and you get pre-sale tickets for certain live events and stuff. So like you're paying an extra $60 a year for a discount on merch or to be able to get live event tickets faster.
Which,
So
that's cool that
look,
they're
it's
giving like a little something extra for people who
yeah, because
want
it's
to
I
pay a
think
little more.
it's like I pay monthly and it's $5.99, and I'm gonna change that. Yeah, it's $70 a year basic for just the basic yearly, and then $130. So it's $129.99 for it's not quite double, but you do get a little bit extra stuff. But yeah, so Cloudward Ho was just a very fun steampunky story about adventurers that went their own separate ways and then came back, and it was just like it was a very good, like this was the first core cast Dimension 20 series I've watched like in its entirety ever, actually. I can't say in its entirety ever. So Dimension 20 has a bunch of different uh, series and versions and whatnot, and I've watched a good number of them. Not all of them, nowhere near all of them. But they have a core cast, which is Allie Beardsley, Lou Wilson, um Zach Oyama, Emily, can't remember her last name. Emily and shit, what's his name? Let me just click a video, and
So
it'll give me their
unprepared.
cast. I just look, I'm bad with names, you know this.
Yeah, I'm
So it's
prepared.
Emily Axford, Allie Beardsley, Brian Murphy, Zach Oyama, Siobhan Thompson, Lou Wilson, and Brennan. Those are the core cast. But then there's just so many other, like they have the ones where Abria Iyengar runs. They have ones where they have these special guests like the Dungeons and Drag Queens and the Titan Takedown. that is just like it's there's so many different series when it comes to Dimension 20 that this is the first time I sat down and watched like one of their longer running um core cast series, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. It was very emotional. There were times where I was near crying during it because of like how emotional it got. Um and yeah, I'm excited to like I now that I'm done that, I'm like, all right, let's see what other series to jump into because there's just they don't all connect. Some of them have multiple seasons, and some of them do connect, some of them don't. But I'm just like, all right, well, what's next? Because there's a lot of content on here that I have not watched, and I should make use of my 70 bucks a year. Should really make use of it. Which again, Dropout is, in my opinion, Dropout is the most worth it streaming service. Me and Drew had an entire hour plus discussion about it a couple of weeks ago with some of their newer content, some of the content they released, or a few months ago when you took a break, when you took a day off. It's probably the best streaming service out there. Most affordable, and they just consistently roll out good content.
Nice. Well,
If
I'm glad you're
only,
enjoying it.
if only you liked improv comedy.
Yeah, no, I thought that one show we watched was actually pretty like it was like the production was good. I just got nothing out of it.
You're boring. You're so boring. Game Changer is an amazing show.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's it. I finished watching them. It was something good to talk about. How about Pokemon ZA? How you feeling about it now after a week?
So I am something like 15 hours in ish, let's say. And I'm still really enjoying it. Um,
Nice.
so d you're probably not going to get to it anytime soon, right?
Probably not. I'm waiting to get a Switch 2 before I get it,
Do
and
you
that's
mind
gonna be
like
a while.
a small spoiler?
I'll forget it by the time. If it's nothing like me, if it's nothing about a character dying, then I don't care.
No, no. This game hands you an Absol,
Okay.
fairly early on. Probably within the first like 5 to 8 hours, depending on like how quickly you get through certain things.
Yeah.
Um, because they are doing so. This game, obviously, because it's set in Kalos, Mega Evolutions are back.
Yeah.
Um, and they're doing something. It's a combination between like the Raid Max battle things from Sword and Shield, with Gigantamaxing,
Yeah.
and like the boss fights from Legends Arceus. Like remember how like the Legends Arceus battles were always like do like a bunch of stuff before you can finally like battle the Pokemon to like knock it
Mm,
out, like the four guardians or whatever they were.
kind of.
Um,
Yeah.
so this one is doing something kind of like in the middle where you're being tasked with helping Pokemon that are mega evolving when they shouldn't be. Like basically there's something going on in the city where wild Pokemon are absorbing too much like mega power
Hmm.
and they're mega evolving in like the wrong way and it's causing them pain and it's also making them like bigger and stronger than a normal mega evolution. But you end up in an arena similar to the raid max, like the raid battles, where everything's like red and it's just like kind of like a big circle. Only because it's more of an action RPG, you actually get to run around. Like you're
Yeah.
moving, and you as the player have to also avoid the wild Pokemon because it will
Yeah.
focus on you and attack you as well.
Hmm.
Or if you just happen to be in the line of like a big attack, it will knock your ass out. But the first one you do is an Absol, and the Absol decides it wants to go with you for saving.
Okay.
So
Nice.
not only do you get an Absol, you get an Absol that can Mega Evolve
Yeah. Absol was always if you had an Absol, you can make it evolve when you had the Absol
in that
charm.
generation.
But yeah. But in that generation. But yeah, I'm glad Absol gets a little bit of light because Absol is one of the coolest Pokemons, and you never get it. It's never in the base game because it's a single evolution Pokemon that no one cares about. But
Yeah, but yeah, that's they. So I actually have it on my team right now.
mhm.
Because it's a solid Dark type,
Yeah.
and I think I mentioned it last week. They took out the link cable item that you could use to evolve trade Pokemon.
Hmm.
So it's back to you have to trade in order to evolve Pokemon. But from everything I'm reading, there is no backwards compatibility with trading. You have to trade to another Legends AZ or
Yeah.
ZA AZ.
Yeah.
Um, So you either need friends with that, or you need to hope that somebody will trade you the Pokemon you want in return for the one you're trading with, like the online trading.
Hmm.
And I've already seen people online saying that like they didn't realize they weren't in a room with their friend and traded a Pokemon away.
Oof.
Yeah. So like that is one kind of downside is people who people were really into the very contained single player element of Arceus. And generally, other than the people that play Pokemon for like the online battling, no one likes the online features. Nobody wants trading to evolve or any of that shit. And they've kind of like doubled down on some of that again, which sucks a little bit. Um, but like that's probably the most negative thing about it is like you can't get an Alakazam, a Gengar, or a Slow King, or a handful of other Pokemon
I mean,
because
it's always been that. Like there was not in any of the main games have there been an item that would let you. There was no link cable item in Scarlet
yeah,
and
there was.
Violet.
Yeah, there was.
I mean,
Scarlet and Violet, either Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet was the first one to introduce it. I think it was Scarlet and Violet. Like it's literally like an item that you got that lets you evolve those trade Pokemon. They would still evolve over a trade too, but it was like the way to do it if you didn't have people to trade with.
the linking cord. I don't from what I'm seeing, it wasn't in Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, you know what? It was in Legends Arceus, not Scarlet.
Yeah, so it was just in Legends Arceus.
And they got rid of it in this game.
Yeah. Well, that's because Legends Arceus did not have any online
Yeah.
at
And
all. That's why they had to have that in there.
I wish they would have kept it for this one because like not a lot of people are getting like the people that I know that would normally have this, like you, aren't getting it because they want it for Switch 2 and not everyone has a Switch 2. And like
Yeah.
I'm not willing to like I don't want somebody else's Pokemon because then you have to like beat the game before you can actually level them up. Because you always run that risk of it like not listening to you because you level it up too high.
Yeah.
Um, so like I had a Haunter that I was going to use, and I just dropped it for a Lucario instead
Mhm.
because I wanted a Gengar, and I can't get one, so fuck it. Um,
Yeah. I don't know,
and
but
yeah,
Haunter is a cooler Pokemon anyway. So
yeah, but Gengar is stronger.
I know. I'm being a butt and kidding a bit, but Haunter is a cooler looking Pokemon. Like I
And,
honestly feel like
oh,
it
see, I
should
think
be
Gengar's the
Gaslight
cooler
Gengar
looking one.
Haunter. What's that?
I think Gengar is actually the cooler looking of the three.
No. And
Um,
then the fact that they like double down on that with Mega Gengar, where it kind of just looks like a giant Gaslight or a giant Haunter, but with a little bit of Gengar features. I think Haunter just looks cooler.
yeah. But one thing I didn't find out last week when I talked about this, just getting back to more positive stuff, I thought Pokemon were like just in the wild zones that you could catch.
Hmm.
Um, that's not true. Like there are actually Pokemon like just in the city that are wild and catchable.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like some of them are like blink and you'll miss it because it's like Pidgeys will just be around or Talos, the little Firebird Pokemon
Hmm.
that's from that generation.
Yeah.
And then some other places like if you get there's a lot of rooftop like gardens in the city,
Yeah.
and like as the
There's
game progresses, you're able to get onto the rooftops more and more. And there's a lot of like plant Pokemon up on rooftops that you can catch, or that is actually where you catch a Riolu, the pre-evolution of Lucario. Like it
yeah,
spawns on a single rooftop.
that's also an Eevee. There's one Eevee in the there's one spot to catch an Eevee in the entire game. You
Apparently,
can
there's
catch it
three.
multiple times, but it's like it's a pain to get up to, and then you have to wait for it to respawn.
So that there's at least three Eevee spawns.
Okay.
Um,
I saw one, but I didn't
One of them
fact
is
check
on
it.
a roof. Another one is near like some water because I've caught three Eevees in two different locations.
Hmm.
I ended so I actually before I found out where to find the Riolu, I was actually going to do two Eevee evolutions. Because I ended up getting the Sylveon, the fairy one,
Yeah.
because it's strong against like ghost types and things like that. And when I found out that like the Haunter Gengar thing was going on, I pivoted to I was going to get Espeon to have like a psychic type instead. So I figured I would have the psychic Pokemon, and then I would also have the Sylveon as the like ghost strong Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um, But then I found out about the Riolu, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll get a Lucario instead, and then I'll use the Absol for like a Dark type.
You do know that like trading and then trading back doesn't count you as the original owner anymore.
Yes, it does.
No, it
It keeps the
doesn't.
trainer ID.
Pretty sure they stopped having that count.
You know what? Maybe they did stop having it count, but the last time I actually was doing trading for anything like that, like it was based on your trainer ID. But also with the online trades the way they are, like it's a hassle to try and trade with strangers because you just never know how that's going to go. But regardless of that, like the game has been a lot of fun. I like kind of like what they're doing with the story. They did so they had that whole battle royal thing where you're moving up the ranks, and like I get it that they couldn't have you go up all 26 letters, but at a certain point they just jump you to F rank, I think it was, from like W or V rank. I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. Like I was enjoying like slowly climbing the
So They
ranks.
they quick level you at one point.
Yeah, it's funny too because like they don't level up. Like it's not like your Pokemon change levels or anything like that. You just go from like a story beat happens, and they're just like, okay, cool. So in order for you to actually help us, you need to be a higher rank. So here's a new challenge. If you beat this challenge, you'll automatically jump up to F rank.
Okay, that's weird. That's lame.
Yeah. Well, so you battle one of the people that's like from the company putting on the event.
Okay.
So it's like one of those things. Um, and like at least they do make it where like as once you get to that higher level to get the passes to do your next rank battle actually go like the amount of points you need goes up. So there
Hmm.
is at least like it takes longer to actually do those now than it did before. Like you might have to depending on your luck and how quickly you can get through some of the battles and some of the little so it I guess the important thing is when you're in the battle zones, like there's all the trainers, and you can sneak up on them to start. Basically, if you sneak up and have your Pokemon attack before the other trainer spots it, you get like the advantage battle, and like all of your moves all reset right away, and you have like a chance to attack first.
Hmm.
Inside that battle zone, there are like little cards that float around that you can hold three of them, and they give you some sort of like sneak up on a Pokemon and attack it with like a grass move, and you get extra points towards your battle pass and extra points towards money. And once you hit F rank, you get a couple where early game it's like one or two on a card. Like you either have to do a thing once or twice, and that's kind of it. And you get like 100 points and like 10 gold coins. When you get to F rank, I have a couple where it's like do this thing in 10 different battles, and we're gonna give you 10,000 points. And the goal you have to reach to do your next rank battle is 30,000. So like you still have to do a ton of battles, but if you can do it successfully, you cut it out because generally the battles you're getting like 500 to 1,000 points a battle,
Hmm.
just naturally through the battle. So it can take a while. But also that's a perfect way to level up your Pokemon and get a ton of money. At one point last night, I had $250,000 or like whatever that currency is called. Because what ends up happening in the battle zones, like I said, you get gold coins, and those gold coins then translate to the currency. And I think it's like 1,000 gold coins equals approximately 10,000 of their in-game currency. Um, but the number of battles you complete during the night adds a multiplier to it.
Hmm.
So if you're managing to run through like 15 to 20 battles, you're getting anywhere from a 2 to a 3 times multiplier on that like 10 to 20,000 you're already getting.
Yeah.
And all the prices are basically the same as they are in all the other games. Like antidotes are $100 or whatever. The different Pokeballs all cost the same. The only things that cost more are the Mega Evolution Stones. And this game you don't have to go find fossils or battle for them. There's just a store that sells fossils.
Okay.
So
That's good.
I think there's two fossils you can buy and an old amber. And at a certain point, one of the side missions, it's funny, the side mission is literally, hey, I work on this thing that brings fossils back to life. I can't decide which of the two fossils I want. Here's $20,000. Go buy one and bring it back to like your choice. And then when you bring it back to them and it makes the Pokemon, it's like, okay, well, I'm not a trainer, so like, why don't you keep this Pokemon? And like, if you get any more fossils or old amber, like, go ahead and bring it over to me, and I'll bring it back to life for you. So like you get one for free, and then you can just go buy the others or buy more of the same if for some reason you. So like if you're doing like IV training or something like that, and you're trying to get like a certain trait from one of them or nature. Um, but yeah, so far it's been cool. I'm not sure like how far into the game I am. I'm at rank E now. Yeah, because I did the rank battle from F to E. And now I'm in another stage of quelling the rogue mega evolutions. And it's cool, like that they're pulling out interesting Pokemon for it. Like this one is like a Beedrill, a Banette, and something else that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But like, it's not all the common Pokemon you'd expect to see them mega evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. And other than like the few gripes I have, like it's been cool. And it's been cool like it's slowly unlocking the Pokemon to catch. So like I'm up to 13 wild areas are open now, and each of them generally has some different Pokemon in it. And the bigger areas actually have more alpha Pokemon, which are like good and bad because sometimes you'll see these alpha Pokemon and you'll think maybe they're in like a level range where you're close enough that like if you just take your time and heal and stuff, you'd be able to knock them down. And then you walk up to them and you get close enough to target them, and they're level 50 and you're level, 40, and there's no way in hell you're going to beat them, and you just have to turn around and run and hope they don't hit you with some powerful attack.
Yeah.
Like I forget the name of the Pokemon. It's the bigger iceberg Pokemon. I found one of them last night, and I caught the little guy, like the pre-evolution. And then I saw the big one was an alpha, and I'm like, okay, well, all of the normal wild Pokemon here are a little bit weaker than me actually, like they're under 40. And the other alpha I had seen was the Snover evolution, like the bigger snowman looking, like it's Snover is the Pokemon that looks, I think, it's the one that looks like a cross between a Christmas tree and a snowman, and then it has like the evolution that looks like a larger Christmas tree snowman. That
Yeah.
guy had an alpha, and he was like within like a couple levels of me. No, the fucking iceberg Pokemon was like level 52, um, and it immediately came after me. Like I didn't even get that close to it, and it's just like, oh nope, get the fuck out of here.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and also there's just a random fucking Pidgeot, like the third form of Pidgey, hanging on a rooftop in like a non-wild area. I had to
Nice.
go back. I had to go back and catch it because for whatever reason, so they lock, just like in any other game, like they lock like the Pokeballs behind points. So like in all the traditional games, you don't get like the Great Ball or the Ultra Ball until you're like a little further into the game and you get to like one of the later towns, and then you
Hmm.
just have to keep going to those towns to get those balls. In this one, the Poke Centers just sell all of the basic stuff. They just don't become available until you hit like a main story mission.
Yeah.
So I just recently unlocked the Ultra Balls, and I was able to catch a Riolu with that. So I'm going to go back and try and catch the Pidgeot with it now.
Nice.
'Cause you only get when you knock the Pokemon out and it's out of HP. You have just enough time to throw one Pokeball, and if it breaks free of that, even if you threw the Pokeball immediately, that's it. Like you can't throw anymore. Like it just fades away, and you have to
Hmm.
wait for it to respawn. And like hopefully it wasn't a like rare spawn, like Gimbal. I want to say the weird little like dragon dude with like the big head. He is a rare spawn in this one wild zone, and it's like the worst wild zone because it's just kind of a big circle, and he hides in holes. So you have to run around and let Pokemon jump out of these holes. Most of them are just Drillburs. So you're just getting chased around this circle by Drillburs and Machops, hoping that maybe a Gimbal pops out or Gibble. Gibble might be Gibble. But yeah, that's about it. I'm having fun with it. I might have like one more update next week before I just. If I haven't beaten it by next week, I might just like pause on like talking about it until I do.
Yeah. Nice. It's
Yeah.
I want it. I do. I just have so much other stuff that I'm in the middle of playing and to play, and I'd much rather get a Switch 2 before playing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel
and
like it's gonna play
also
better on the Switch too.
and yeah, and also like I kind of want to get a new capture card before I play anything else. Because my capture card just really doesn't seem like it's worth its shit. Like the capture card kind of sucks. Um, so like I want to look into getting a better capture card so that I can play stuff better on my PC.
It's understandable.
Yeah,
Um,
so it's
sh-
on the list, but eventually.
yeah, yeah. Shall we move on to your final thoughts on Evil Within 2?
Yeah, so like I said at the beginning of the show, at the top of the show, the gameplay's not bad. It is a little frustrating because it's like they tried to build it around like stealth and traps or something like that and being smart, which is fine. Like it's fine, but it's just like the game still feels like a little too clunky to be any of that to begin with. And it like overall it's like the gunplay's fine, but it's like it's just yeah, the game just doesn't fully click with me. And I've heard people say that this one's better than the first, and it is. But like, what really takes me out is the story and the concept of everything that's going on. And so, for the basic, bare bones minimum you need to know about the story, imagine the Matrix but survival horror. You are a character who has been put into this virtual world. Now, this virtual world runs off the brains of everyone else put into this virtual world. Specifically, you need a really powerful mind in its sense to really like properly run this virtual world. And so in this one, it turns out that the main character's daughter was who he thought was killed in a fire before the events of the first game was actually abducted by this organization who created this machine that you are stuck in the first game and are now in the second game. Because children with high mental acuity skills and scores and like high um empathy empathy levels and stuff like that are the best to run this machine without it going haywire. And so this organization kidnapped your daughter and put her into this machine to then put other people into the machine to grow the machine. And the more people that they put into the machine, the more mind power the machine has to be able to put more people into the machine to have it have more mind power. But when you're in the machine, most of the people in the machine do not realize they are in this machine. They get their memory wiped and they think it's real life. So they spend day to day doing the normal things like cooking and cleaning and going to work. And you're an organization that built a utopia in a VR realm, but they still have to adhere by like normal like politics and shit like that and normal living standards. But then in this virtual world that you are in, there are terminals throughout the world that you can go to and enter in that essentially is fast travel, and only people who work for the organization and people who know that they're in a virtual space know about these terminals. You go to these terminals and they bring you into a sort of underground area. Not legitimately underground, but it is a disconnected world that is a big underground maze type sort of thing that has different terminals within it that you can go to, and you can exit out through a different spot in the terminal. So you can go to one in the middle of the town called Union and go to a different terminal within this place they call the Morrow, and you can access that terminal and it'll take you out next to the theater instead of in the middle of town. Now, this
Okay.
area, the Morrow, that is supposed to be a secret area, has, for some reason, gas hookups, electrical hookups, sewage. It's a fucking virtual world.
So
Why?
why you gotta hate on it?
Because there's a whole section of the game where the Morrow gets wrecked and damaged, and there's a gas leak. Why is there gas to begin with? This is a virtual world. Use your fucking computer, go type, 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 and get rid of the gas.
That's not how virtual worlds work.
That is how virtual worlds. That's legitimately exactly how virtual worlds work.
Is it though?
It is. I can't tell you how. Fucking 7 Days to Die is a virtual world that, guess what? Before Alpha 21 or Alpha 20, they took out glass jars in the game. They were just no longer in the game. Well, guess what? They added them back in. All it is a couple lines of code. This area no longer has gas now. And so now you no longer need a gas mask to go through it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. They send you into the virtual world because they can't find your daughter, who is the core to this virtual world, and because she is missing, the world is falling apart. And so you have to go find your daughter and then matrix your way out by finding a specific exit to get out of there. Meanwhile, there's a psychopath who is in there because if you have a psychopathic tendencies and a psychopathic brain, you actually have more power in this world where you can affect things and create things. That you end up having to kill because he was trying to chase after your daughter to get her power because she's got the power of the world. And then there's another guy here who also has a very powerful brain and psychopathic tendencies, who's also trying to find your daughter to take control in a virtual fucking world. Having her power gets you nowhere outside of it. I don't understand. I really don't.
This game just was not made for you.
It makes no sense. Because that was like my problem with the first one, was at the end of the first one, yeah, you're in the brain of this, you're in this virtual world connected to this brain of this very terrible human being, but it's a virtual world. Nothing is going to come of him taking over a virtual world. Just click delete. Like, there's no problem here. There's literally no problem here.
But the Digimon.
They're all zombies. Like one of the things I'm like you read is like about the zombie creatures. They call them the Lost. And because this is a virtual world, there's no viruses or disease or contagions or anything like that. So people who are brought into this world, and they surmise that it's the people whose minds are rewritten to not know that they're in a virtual world and think that this is just their life. Those people start to get flashes of their previous memories and eventually start to go into some form of psychosis, and then they change physically into these zombie creatures. And they think it's just people who had their mind wiped, but then it turns out that somebody who never had their mind wiped also is turning into the Lost, and they think it's now, his proximity to the other Lost, because his position, this guy's position, I have to back up because I'm going to yell or be very loud. This guy's position was he was in an office overseeing where they dump the bodies in a virtual laboratory where all you have to do is hit delete and it gets rid of the bodies. He had to sit there and watch and make sure the bodies fell into the hole. And because of his proximity to all these creatures, because who knows if they actually died when they went down there, because they didn't just fucking hit delete, he then went crazy. It makes zero sense. Zero sense. I don't understand.
It seems pretty normal to me.
This world. I don't get it. Like, they have not at any point in time explained what the threat is about this world and how it will connect to the main world if this is not handled. The only reason you're in there is because the person that was your like tracker and following you after the events of the last game basically felt bad for you because your daughter has been in custody with this company, and they need to find your daughter to reconnect everything. But it's really, your goal is to get your daughter out of there, so you're not gonna be able to reconnect it anyway. There is seriously no point to this game. Just shut it off. Disconnect everyone. I'm sure there's a way for people who run this organization to just disconnect this world. But, I mean, yes, maybe the people in the real world might still think they're crazy because they were these zombie things. But they're all dead now. They're all these zombie things, so you're going to end up killing them anyway. So just kill them, disconnect the core, and control, delete the shit and shut it down. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I'm so mad about it. So I'm like, I'm like 4 chapters left or something. And I'm just like, all right, we're gonna beat it. We're gonna beat it. But this just, I don't get it. And I want somebody. I wish I knew more people who played this game. I need to reach out to my buddy who told me to play it and be like, why? Why is this game? And maybe in the last 4 or 5 chapters, it's gonna like come into light, like, oh, this is what could happen. But right now, there is no real world effects to anything going on in this game. This company that is having you go into this world and get your daughter could have just written it all off because you thought your daughter was dead anyway. Kill her and everyone else in this machine and just end it there. There's no need for this game to exist, story-wise. There's zero need. Like this is Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is definitely Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's no need for your character to be there because they could just turn it off. It just doesn't make. I'm so mad about it. I'm lost. I'm lost. It makes no sense. Like it's not like they're making money off of the people that are entering into the machine because they actually pay the people to go into the machine, but they don't really pay them because the people they're putting into the machine are people that are just like like they don't have anything. And so like, hey, we'll pay you to get into this to do an experiment, but then they don't pay them because they just put them into the experiment. And like they've explained throughout the game, the more people in this machine, the bigger they can make the virtual world because they're running the machine off the brains of the people that are in the world. So the more people, the more brain power, the bigger the data space that they could have, and the larger the world they can make. They're just trying to make the Matrix, but there's no reason to make the Matrix. Like it doesn't make sense. It's not like they're trying to make a fun virtual. It's not like freaking Sword Art Online or Dot Hack, or it's a fun virtual reality game where shit happens and now if you die in game, you die in real life. You just straight up, if you die in this world, you die in real life. Yes, but this is not open to the public. This is a secret society. Like this is a secret unknown organization. There's no reason to it. There's seriously no reason to it. The best part about the game, they had two mini games that I I played the hell out of. Um, and one of them
Like
was a
mini
really,
games,
what's that?
like mini games.
Yeah, like little side things that you could play. They're like target practice games and stuff. One of them was just shooting the target and trying to get a high score. And there was multiple levels, and so I ended up getting all of them the highest score on each level, or a high enough score to get all of the award rewards that you would get for doing it. The other one was like one of those sort of block connector games where like there's multiple colors, and if the same color is touching on any angle or on any cardinal direction, then it'll break that piece as well. So like if you have like four of the same color in an L shape and you shoot one of them, it'll break all of them. Um, and like you could break multiples, or you could break other colors to make a bigger connection of the one specific color, and when you break that bigger connection at a certain point, it'll drop down a little icon, that'll like a little thing that you can shoot that will grant you more time and change all the colors around it to a color that's touching it that's most beneficial and stuff. Like that was really like those two mini game I played the hell out of. I was like, this is I got the highest score to get all the points in those because I was like, this is fun. This is fun. They should do more of this. But the rest of the game, I don't need. I don't need. Like, and
Well, at
yes,
least
I
you're
play
almost
it.
done.
Yeah, like, and I play it very aggressive. Just kill everything and tend to be gunfighting because the stealth just isn't all that great in it. And like, there was one part, the gas area, which made me so mad. The gas area, you put on a gas mask, and because the whole area is covered in some sort of gas, you can't shoot your gun, but you have a crossbow. You can't shoot your crossbow either. Your crossbow won't let you shoot. Oh, also by the way, it goes from third person to first person for that sequence.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. It is, and it just it was bad, and I crashed out hardcore doing it. I was just like, just fucking kill me several times. But like the game's not necessarily hard. I have so many, like, you have to craft your healing items, but you find healing items throughout the world, and more often than not, I'm finding a healing item when I already have a full stack, so I'm using it just to pick that one up and bringing myself to full health, even when I don't need to. Like, the game is not hard. And I'm glad that it's not really that hard, because I would probably not like it even more. But, like I said, the gameplay is kind of fun. Everything else about this game just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. It makes zero sense.
Yeah, no, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
But
Like,
you're almost done, then you can move on to something else.
yeah, I'm almost done, and then it'll probably be Expedition 33, which I cannot wait to play. I've been
Nice.
looking forward to playing that for so long.
Nice. I think that'll probably be a show for this week, though.
Yeah, that's a show.
Well, if you'd like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. You can't support us every $8, though. You can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at one_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And on Blue Sky, we are at one-quest.com. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming looking like?
Twitch.tv/b_walnuts for video game streaming, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Sea of Thieves, this upcoming Saturday, the 1st of November, we'll be doing Lockdown Protocol to celebrate 650 followers. And December 12th will be my cookie stream, so get ready for that. And you only have like a few more days to help participate in this month's charity. If you want to help participate in a charity, stop by.
Nice. And with that, we'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yas.